Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Miners Twitter space. My name is Mary and I will try and be your host today. As you can hear, my voice is, it is as it is. I'm a little bit sick, but I'm looking forward to this. And today we have this project called DigiByte Foundation here with us. And four gentlemen from DigiByte Foundation is here. And that's Rudy, Lars, Mike, and Rutger. And I see you're all up here already. Welcome, guys.
Yes, thank you, Mary. Thanks for having us on. It's a great pleasure. Sorry to hear about your voice, but we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, very good. I can hear you too, Rudy. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, and we are going to be here approximately 1 hour and talk a little bit about DigiByte Foundation. And I also want to remind everyone that it's only educational purpose and no financial advices. Do your own research, guys. So, Rudy, you were the one speaking for DigiByte Foundation. Do you have the other Mike and Rutger? Are you going to speak as well, or?
Yes, of course. Mike, Rutger, Lars, we're all going to speak. We're all the DigiByte Foundation.
Very good.
Absolutely.
So,
Great to be a part of this AMA and looking forward to the coming hour.
yes, welcome everyone. Where are you from, guys?
Yep, thank you.
We are truly decentralized. Me and Rutger are from the Netherlands. Mike is from the States. And Lars is from Bali.
Well, yeah, I'm from Germany, but I'm living in Asia. I've been living in Singapore for about 15 years.
Nice. Nice weather now. Or is it rain season? I don't know.
It's a bit of a mixed bag. A bit rainy these days.
A bit rain is always good, right? Not too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, guys. So yeah, DigiByte Foundation. I must admit I don't know much about it, but I'm looking forward to hear from you. And since I have four of you here, I'm sure I'm going to be fully educated after this hour. But
That's the purpose, yes.
yeah, so maybe you can tell us a little bit quickly about the team behind this and yourselves. How did you come to be part of this foundation and why?
Yes, let's first tell you about the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
The foundation was established in 2019, but the DigiByte project already exists in 2014. The foundation was established in 2019 as a formal entity here in the Netherlands. It's called a stichting. And it was not started to become an authoritative body, but as an entity to support the DigiByte project, because the DigiByte project doesn't have a legal entity. There's no company behind the project. There was not an ICO. It's a grassroots movement. It's a community project. So we're not an authoritative body, but we are an entity that supports this grassroots movement. And that's important to know. There's no entity, no group controlling the project. It's really a community of volunteers only. So why is there a foundation? Why is there a need for an entity like the foundation? As mentioned, when a project like DigiByte is only depending on volunteers, that means there will also be a lot of challenges. Because when there is no company or no entity behind a project, that means that there are also no dedicated professional points of contact, right? There are no partnerships with the project itself. There's no possibility to create agreements. There are, of course, different groups in the community or organized to support DigiByte on different levels. We have also the DigiByte Awareness Team, which is a community project. We also have a formal entity in the US. It's called the DigiByte Alliance. And we have this DigiByte Foundation, which is the formal entity here in the Netherlands. So what do we do? What can we do? We can act as a point of contact to talk with exchanges on different levels, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 exchanges. Also, we are getting the funds to pay for the infrastructure costs. We are also getting funds to issue bounties for developers, because we're all volunteers, but we have to incentivize developers to make sure that development is not stalling. And these funds are coming from sponsoring partners, referrals, and donations from the community. So quite recently, the foundation has got a renewal. If you can see on our website, it's last month we have launched our new website, and there you can see exactly what we are doing. A little bit about myself. I learned about DigiByte back in 2017, and I was impressed by the project, because in that time there were a lot of ICOs, you know, and DigiByte wasn't an ICO. It was really a grassroots movement. Had some great technologies, great features, but we'll get into that later. And really decentralized and permissionless by design, and with a coin that, in my perspective, is the ultimate digital currency. And in 2017, when I got attracted to DigiByte, I was together with Rutger, I was one of the founders of the DigiByte awareness team. That was a non-legal entity, but a group of community members that get together and became a point of contact for developers, for businesses, and for the community. We proactively reach out to exchanges, to businesses, to wallet suppliers, payment processors, and we even managed to grow the DigiByte ecosystem and create more awareness. DigiByte even I think it was 2 years ago, managed to get it into the top 20 of crypto projects. And as mentioned, in 2019, 2 years later, we founded Rutger, and together with Hans at that time, we founded the DigiByte Foundation. So that's
nice.
In short, the answer to the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the rest of you, when did you start, or when did you join this foundation?
Yeah, so Rutger here, as Rudy already said, I was one of the co-founders of the DigiByte Foundation back in 2019, and I've been involved in the DigiByte community already from 2016, 2017, so also a long time already. And it's really nice to be part of this decentralized movement, because if you look at what is DigiByte, I think that is a very important question, because it comprises, of course, of the backbone, which is the blockchain itself. DigiByte is a decentralized, globally distributed blockchain on the same technology basis as Bitcoin. It was actually a fork of the Litecoin code all the way back in 2013. Actually, it was developed, and it was released in 2014. And the idea behind it was that still trying to fully adhere to the Satoshi ethos and decentralized thinking, and then improve on different items in the blockchain to create an even better currency. So in the several years after its first introduction in 2014, there were several hard forks to improve the blockchain on both speed and also on decentralization, and also in the mining algorithms, and also in the amount of transactions that the blockchain can support per second. So what you see is now that after the 7 hard forks, DigiByte has become one of the most decentralized blockchains in the world, and also one of the fastest real proof of work UTXO blockchains. So because it's distributed over 5 different mining algorithms, it's also very decentralized in that regard, because there's not one mining algorithm that can take over the whole of the DigiByte mining, because it's evenly distributed among those 5 different mining algorithms, and also you need different mining hardware for that. So that's also one of the great features. But of course, this is all technical stuff, which is of course very interesting, because the backbone really needs to be solid for it to keep working as a decentralized solution. But if you look at the use cases, there it gets very interesting, because I always say that DigiByte is the ultimate merchant coin, and because you can actually use DigiByte at the point of sale, both in the online environment, but also in the brick and mortar, just in the regular stores, because it's so fast and it's also very cheap to use, while still maintaining the utmost security possible. So you can actually have a 1-second transaction speed wallet to wallet, and within 15 seconds tops, it's already confirmed in the blockchain. So you can actually use it as a payment solution. So that's the first very important use case. And the second one is that
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I always say, prove it is to use it. If you use DigiByte once, you will never look back, because it's so seamless. It's so fast. It really blows your mind. The second use case is around authentication. What the DigiByte community developed is this passwordless login solution that's called DigiID. And this is a very secure method of authentication, because it uses the same cryptographic signing methodologies, which you use for a regular transaction. But the point is, you don't need any usernames and passwords. So they're also not stored on any server. So you hold the keys, and when you sign in, it's the only thing that you send over is the signed transaction, so nobody can hack that. It has the same security level as Bitcoin and DigiByte transactions, so that's really interesting.
But you can use your fingerprint or face recognition or something instead, then, or?
You can do that, but then behind that normally is always a username and a password when you use a fingerprint. But with DigiID, you don't have any usernames or passwords. So that's
what do you have then?
Really groundbreaking technology. Yeah. Because you sign your login just like a normal transaction you would sign on the blockchain. You use the same technology to sign into a website, for instance.
So like a wallet, you mean, or?
Can be anything. You can use it for login into a website, or even log in into existing services like Facebook or whatever. You can use it also. So I would really invite your listeners tonight to go to DigiID to find it out, to find more about what it is and how it works.
But can anyone use it? You mean I could sign up and have one in how long does it take?
Yeah, anyone can use it, but of course the service that you're logging into also needs to support that, because there needs to be installed something on their backbone before you can use it. Yeah, but it's free to use, and well, it's really great experience for seamless login.
I think utilities is the most interesting for me anyway, because I'm not a very technical person. But how does it then work? I mean, you said they have to install it first. So how many places can it be used so far, or how many items are using it?
So maybe I can add a little bit to this. So I actually stumbled into and over DigiByte via DigiID.
Okay.
So
interesting.
In my company where I've been working in, we had a scenario where lots of people had often received kind of passwords for certain parts of the company, like an ERP system or the email inbox, and mainly they have been assigned by management and administered via Excel sheets, and those passwords were passwords that maybe you would never have given yourself, and then oftentimes people have not been kind of adjusting and correcting their passwords and setting them themselves, right? So it's stuck by this assigned passwords, or sometimes they had made adjustments and then the passwords were forgotten over time. And we had this quite frequently occurring. So that's how I kind of stumbled to DigiBet and the DigiByte awareness team, and to Rudy. And they helped us implementing the DigiID feature. And DigiID basically enables profiles in the system. And when people were putting their fingerprint via using the DigiByte wallet, and then we're able to access the exact components or parts of any system that they were assigned to. It could be an inventory access or sales module access, whatever the company would be breaking down into divisions. So these particular colleagues of mine that then would be working in the division would see exactly that part of the software that would be relevant for them. So yeah, it's and that's long ago. It was 2018 or 19, I think. Yeah, and that's been out, and it's maybe a little bit overlooked, but there are lots of use cases for this. Also, websites or even exchanges. There are a couple examples where you can basically sign in via using DigiID first.
Yeah, the only thing is that maybe why it takes so long for people to embrace this technology is because it's open source, but it's community development. So especially companies, of course, need to have a guaranteed development support. They need to have the consultancy. They need to have the service level in place. They want to have dashboards. They want to have compliancy and security on an enterprise level. And to get this to an enterprise level, that's where DigiCorp, the company that's using DigiByte Blockchain, comes into place. They have leveraged this technology, and they call it DGMV ID. This is a solution that's based on this wallet technology, but it's brought to an enterprise level.
So certain people made it like a company and are helping others to try and implement it in their maybe businesses or organizations. Is that what you're saying?
No, there is a company started last year, DigiCorp, and they have a very blue heart. That means they like the DigiByte technology, and I'm part of DigiCorp, so I'm not neutral when I'm speaking about DigiCorp, of course. But the goal for DigiCorp is to bridge the decentralized technologies like DigiByte to the enterprise, corporate enterprise world, which is a very centralized environment, right? And that's the goal of DigiCorp. But it's a commercial company. It's got nothing to do with DigiByte Foundation or the DigiByte project, but they just use DigiByte technology as part of one of the pillars in the technology, in decentralized technology, where DigiCorp is building with. But just to elaborate on DigiID and the wallet technology to authenticate yourself.
Yeah, so I just posted the link to digid.io, and also Jose Treo also posted a nice article about DigiID. So I really would advise your listeners to dive a little bit deeper into DigiID.
And then maybe in addition to this, if anyone is in need of an implementation for DigiID, is always welcome to contact the DigiByte Foundation, because maybe we can connect to developers who are part of the DigiByte community to then take that on and embed it.
So if anyone in here has a company or an organization that now feel like, oh, this sounds very interesting, they can reach out to you guys and get help from you to implement it in their organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe not from us directly, but there are a lot of people in the DigiByte community. It's a very large community. Many supporters are individuals that are not affiliated with the foundation, but are programmers and are dedicated to supporting the DigiByte solutions. And maybe there are bridges that can be built via the foundation if people are looking for coders, and coders are often looking for projects, and maybe that could be one avenue.
Great. So we haven't heard from Mike yet, or did we?
Hi. Yeah.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing? Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting us and this opportunity to talk to your community about DigiByte and all the great things about it and what a lot of our goals are, what we're hoping to achieve as a foundation, as you know, a part of that community. You know, one of the things that really appealed to me about DigiByte early on, and this was back in 2017. You know, it's one of those coins that can do so many things. You know, a lot of things in our world, it can do one thing really well or multiple things just kind of well. But DigiByte, it finds a way to do so many things so well. You know, Ruker talked a lot about its speed. You know, of course, you know, it can write a block every 15 seconds. So, and all these are on-chain transactions, which I think is a very important component compared to, you know, of course, you know, Bitcoin uses the Lightning Network to achieve its speeds. Personally, I'm not a fan of that because I feel like you're undecentralizing your network, and that kind of goes against the grain of what you know, a lot of the purpose of these digital currencies are all about. You know, and they also talked about the security of it and also the scalability. So there's so many things going on with DigiByte that are great about it, and it's, you know, it's what I would consider, you know, a pure blockchain because it's open source, it's permissionless. You know, as Rudy was saying, you know, we're not an authoritative body being the foundation. You know, we're not gatekeepers to anyone who wants to use DigiByte. Anyone can use it. No one's there to stop you. If you want to build a dApp on DigiByte, you can pull the code off GitHub and get right to work. You don't have to go through the foundation or any of these other organizations or through the DigiByte core developers themselves. So it just, you know, it has a lot going for it in terms of just its ability to just really stand out from the crowd, and especially, you know, in today's world, you know, it's, you have the likes of FTX. They suck all the oxygen out of the room just because that's where the spotlight is on. In fact, I think SBF is, you know, he's testifying to, you know, U.S. lawmakers right now, or, you know, earlier today. So, you know, that's where a lot of the focus is on in terms of, you know, the people who are definitely, those are out that are outside of the space, because that's, you know, where the mainstream media points all the attention to, and it kind of puts a black eye, I think, on the space as a whole, because, you know, they see that and they say, oh, well, this is obviously fraud, and I don't want to be a part of that. And I think that's one of the goals, you know, as being community members and members of the foundation. You know, we got to get out there and let people know that there's projects like DigiByte that are, you know, we're trying to do it the right way. You know, we're, like I said, we're all volunteers, and we just want to do right by, you know, the project and for the other community members. And so there's an opportunity here to get out and inform and educate people about, you know, cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, and you know, what makes it stand out from you know, these other projects. Of course, our current monetary system is just a total mess. And it's just this downward spiral, and, you know, this technology can help lift us out of that spiral and kind of take us to the next level and get us beyond the corruption that's just inherent with the current system, and we can create a transparent system that levels the playing field. So, you know, the people that, you know, are at the top or near it are the ones that benefit from the current system, and those of us who are, you know, we're just normal everyday people, you know, our wealth and our labor and our time gets, you know, taken from us through that system. So if we can create a system that is more, you know, fair and transparent, then we can get beyond that system and create just a better world for all of us. So, you know, these are, you know, the things that, you know, appeal to me about DigiByte, and one of the reasons why I decided to join the foundation, because again, it's community driven. And, you know, you can't just, you know, stand on the sidelines and say, oh, well, you know, you should do this, you should do that. Well, you know, there's the opportunity there to be a part of that solution, you know, to be involved. And
how does that work, though? How does it work
well,
when it's
you
fully
know,
community driven like this? I mean, if I have an idea, do I have to hold some coins to be able to air my idea, or and
no,
who
absolutely
do I
not.
air it to? Who do I tell?
That's the beautiful thing about it. And, you know, for me personally, that was, you know, for my own personal growth and understanding of what decentralization really means, because yeah, it is such kind of a wonky concept, but you don't have to do anything really, you just do it. And for me, you know, I have a background in video production, and so I thought, well, you know, let me just create a YouTube channel and make some videos about DigiByte. And you know, I didn't have to go through anyone at DigiByte in order to get permission to do that. You know, I mean, I reached out to people to help answer questions and things, and everyone's very supportive, because obviously they're like, oh, well, yeah, you want to do videos about DigiByte, then yeah, cool, you know, we're down with that. And so people are willing to help and answer questions, but yeah, there's no central authority to greenlight what you want to do. Like I said, if you want to build an application and run on DigiByte, then you can just do it. You know, again, you know, it's a double-edged sword, so to speak, because you know, with decentralization, you know, sometimes you don't know like where to start. And again, that's one of the roles that I think we as a foundation hope to achieve, is to at least just kind of help people get started and kind of point them in the right direction. For example, Lars mentioned that if you're a company and you want to look into DigiID, well, you know, just reach out to us and maybe we can put you in contact with, you know, someone who's familiar with DigiID at the development level, and you guys can work something out and they can help implement that solution for your business or your website or whatever it is that you want to use it for.
Well, it sounds so good, as long as everyone are like have a good heart and good intentions. But what if there is someone trying to make bad? Like we had, like you talked about FTX, we had Luna crash, we have lots of stuff happening that's not too good. Who's gonna try and stop it and prevent it then, if there's no one in charge?
Well, the nice thing is what you see is that the community is self-regulating in that regard. So if sometimes we have also in the past seen some bad actors that want to use DigiByte name, or they want to scam users. And what you see is that people help each other to become aware of what are the good practices. For instance, one of the things I see that Laura is also joining. Very welcome, Laura. One of the items that the community really has been pounding on from the beginning is not your keys, not your DigiByte. So this self-custodianship, which is a very important topic, and it's also a part of growing up as a human. I mean, humanity has to grow up to take more responsibility themselves and not export all the things to bigger corporations or bigger entities that then can take your money and or scam you, which of course we have been seeing happening in the last year very much. So this self-custodianship is something that really the people in the community help each other to achieve that. And so if that's the great thing, it sorts itself out, because if there is really people that have the good intentions, have good ideas, then it will get traction and it will get support by a broader part of the community. That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's, as you said, it sorts itself out, because the bad guys, they can't do too long, because everyone will notice and tell each other. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe the fact that we are all volunteers also adds to that benefit here, because you know, oftentimes bad actors want to get paid by doing what they're doing, right? And like all of us in the DigiByte community, basically no one gets paid. Everyone is doing this out of conviction from the blockchain and its core and the values that with it.
And Mary, what you mentioned, you don't need to own any coins to be part of the community, because I do remember Laura Taylor is one of the our community members from a very long time supporting the project. She's now part of the DigiByte Alliance. I do remember, I don't know recently, but she was very active in the community without owning any coins. So she really support the values like the true decentralization, equal opportunities for all, permissionless, and that's it's not just about the coin, right? It's about the vision about what decentralization can mean, to be in control, to have some sovereignty. And that's these are important values that we embrace: integrity, transparency, all these kind of things.
Mm.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, go ahead. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that because there is a third use case on the DigiByte blockchain that's called DigiAssets, and that's an NFT solution. So
Okay.
yeah, that's very.
I was just going to
interesting.
ask about the more utilities. So.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So that and the great thing is that this started out with one version, and now we're on version 3. Built out by community, and it's really decentralized. So what it uses the DigiByte blockchain in the op return to post a little code in there, so which is a unique identifier of the NFT. So it's not as complex and complete like with Ethereum. There you have a full Turing complete smart contracts, but it's more a simple form, but it is really usable, and it's really fast, and it's really decentralized. So the DigiAssets is really an interesting thing. So you can use it to tokenize a lot of things. So what you now see is that it's primarily being used by people who are creating NFTs to express their own creativity, but also some small applications are already being developed on this DigiAssets technology.
So anyone can use it and make their own NFTs then?
Correct. Yeah.
Is there a platform for it as well to buy and sell the NFTs then?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. That's the DigiAsset X. I will also put it in the link in the chat on our AMA here.
So how many users are there of DigiByte? I mean, how many?
That's a great question. It's a hard metric. So if you look at there are over 1 million addresses that contain DigiByte. So I think that is a great metric. If you look at the downloads of the core wallet, several hundreds of thousands have been downloaded in the course of the existence of DigiByte.
So is there only a special wallet that you can need for DigiByte, or can you use it for like other wallets as well?
Yeah, you have just like with Bitcoin, you have the core wallet, which if you run it properly, and you also forward your port towards your node, then you can run it as a full node. So you can download this from the digibyte.org website or from GitHub, and then you can run your own DigiByte full node. So you can download the whole complete blockchain with all the history, what has been there, and also support the DigiByte network in a decentralized way at the same time. But if you are not interested in that, then you can use a lot of different wallets. There are very I think most of the big mobile wallets and software wallets, but also hardware wallets now support DigiByte. So if you want to use Ledger
like Trust
or
Wallet
Trezor,
or MetaMask.
Trust, yes, MetaMask not, because that's more for Ethereum. But in the Trust Wallet, but also Ledger and Trezor and Alipal and
SafePal maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there are a lot of choices.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many? I mean, tell us maybe an example or a few examples of where it's used today and where it's like in good use today.
Well, if we summarize the use cases, the biggest use case is, of course, the currency, right? We know in the white paper of Bitcoin, it's mentioned that it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but we know that Bitcoin is not that fast, so it could also be seen as a store of value, like gold. But DigiByte is, in our opinion, really a true peer-to-peer electronic cash system because of the instant transaction speed. So there are a lot of payment processors using DigiByte. So For example, one of our the DigiByte Foundation partners is Travella, where you can book your travel or your flight and pay with DigiByte, and a part of that will be
nice.
donated to the DigiByte Foundation to support the DigiByte project. So currency is one of the most important use cases, I think, at this moment. And what we also mentioned, the second use case, of course, the wallet technology, where you can authenticate yourself without using a password. Rutger also mentioned DigiAsset, but there's another use case, and that's hashing on the blockchain, fingerprinting on the blockchain. Transactions can be recorded on the blockchain in a hash, and that's a use case that used to be in the past from a Hong Kong company that is called DigiSign, where you can, same like DocuSign, and it used the DigiByte blockchain for hashing. And I know at this moment there are several cases in the works where also the DigiByte blockchain will be used for hashing, like a VID project has used the DigiByte blockchain for hashing. So there are 4 main use cases, and there are some projects that are using the currency, but also the wallet technology and the hashing.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect. I'm sorry, if I can just piggyback on what Rudy just said, because one of the things that makes DigiByte unique is that it has its own native blockchain, which you can put, build assets and tokens on top of, as opposed to, there's a lot of other tokens out there that require, Ethereum or some of these other chains, because if something happens, if there's a lot of congestion on those networks, then, your tokens aren't going to move. So, just one of the other, benefits of DigiByte is that, it's its own native chain, and it's so fast, and the transaction costs are so low that it's a really, I think it's has a lot of benefits and a lot of appeal to people who want to, create tokens. It's DigiByte and DigiAssets is something worth looking at. As Rutger was talking about DigiAssets, because with a platform like that, the transactions you can, do so many within such a short amount of time, and the cost is really insignificant. So it's such a, an option that's worth looking at. It's not Turing complete, but it can do most of what, a lot of tokens do anyway. So if that's, something worth looking at for if you're looking to tokenize your own projects, then DigiAssets is certainly has a lot going for it. And I was a big fan of DigiAssets when it first came out because of the potential from a marketing point of view. That's my wheelhouse, and so it was a lot of fun. You can do a lot of creative things with DigiAssets, and especially with version 3 now. And we have a platform called DigiAsset X, which has really increased the functionality of DigiAssets. So you can do smart contracts, do voting rights, dispersing funds, fundraising, fund sharing, just a lot of options that you can do with DigiAssets. And it's, one of those use cases that, I know it's just going to continue to grow over time, and, provide a lot of opportunities for developers and businesses and other organizations to incorporate this technology to, make life easier and better for themselves.
And let's not forget that DigiByte is around since 2014, right? So we are proven and battle hardened and still growing and still developing. And that's rather unique in this space. Of course, there are a lot of projects, thousands of projects, and many come and many go, but DigiByte is here to stay. And that's something that is proven, right?
Mm-hmm. And when you talk about DigiAssets, that's basically a name for everything that's built on your network, or
we have shared a link. There is a particular page called digiassetsx.com, and that's kind of a marketplace for creators, content creators, and people who want to buy NFTs and then share it from there. And I can only encourage you to really have a look at it, because whereas there are many other maybe more highly ranked blockchains that have NFTs, there are, I think, not many where it goes that advanced. Like particularly there's one comic, Galactic Threat, that was created by an artist, and that is really amazing. It has self page changing features, and it reads the story. It's really well animated as well, and it's a deep story as well with good substance to the whole content of the storyline. So that's something that I haven't seen in any other project. It was mainly about images,
Yeah.
and this is a real kind of a copyright approach to a real NFT use case, where I think it makes it a lot more valuable and a lot more enjoyable if it's a true content that carries a real message rather than just having something that you can also, store with a right click and save button.
It's good to see that a project like DigiByte is also giving birth to companies like DGSX, which is a company, but also Change Angel is a crypto exchange that is founded from the DigiByte awareness team, right? And also what I mentioned, DigiCorp has also some roots into the DigiByte project. So it's great that a project like DigiByte also gives birth to companies like this.
That's nice, yeah. There is one thing I wanted to ask about, and it's called DigiShield.
Yes,
Is that something
DigiShield
that you
is
can explain? Because
yeah. So
has that
DigiShield
been
was born
added into other chains also to help other chains?
right. So what was happening years ago was these mining pools would jump on various proof of work chains and mine them aggressively and drive up what is known as the difficulty adjustment. This is a self-regulating timing mechanism that regulates the distribution and timing of the blocks. And what would happen is the difficulty would be driven up, and then these miners would jump to a different chain. And what would happen is that the chains would slow down because the difficulty was so high, but then the mining hash would drop so low. And in projects like Dogecoin, was frozen for a couple of days, if I remember correctly. And so what DigiShield did was it provided real-time difficulty adjustment. So this allows for the timing to maintain consistency, no matter if the hash power or the hashing rate gets driven up really high and then drops really low. There's a lot of volatility on that chain. The DigiShield, which later grew into MultiShield because of the multi-algorithm currently in place with DigiByte, the 5 mining algorithms. This allows for the difficulty adjustment to regulate itself in real time instead of always just retargeting. Like I believe Bitcoin changes itself every 2 weeks. Well, with DigiByte, then it regulates itself it's blocked every 15 seconds. So it's able to maintain that consistency throughout each block. So as I mentioned, Dogecoin adopted DigiShield. I know Ethereum uses it. There's many others. I want to say like Monocoin and Zcash. I mean, there's at least a couple dozen projects, maybe even more at this point that use it. And again, because this is all open source technology, so anyone is free to use it, any parts of the DigiByte code, and incorporate it into their own projects, into their own blockchains. So yeah, DigiShield was really, really groundbreaking at the time, and it really, kind of saved a lot of projects, because otherwise, you got to have that consistency with your blockchain and with your timings in order to keep it reliable. So yeah, that's DigiShield. It's really fascinating, and it's a fantastic feature of DigiByte. And again, it's one of those features that the DigiByte blockchain pioneered and was the first to incorporate it. And it's so great that so many others are using it. And it's a great feature, I think, of just being an open source project that this type of technology can be shared, and no one has to ask anyone on the DigiByte team to use it. They can just, again, go to GitHub, grab the code and put it into their own projects.
That's nice. I mean, who is then developing these kind of things for DigiByte if it's open source? Can anyone do it, and then you vote to implement
absolutely.
it,
Yeah,
or?
yeah. There's a great process now on board. So if you look at the history of the development of the DigiByte blockchain, there have been dozens of developers that have been contributing to the code of DigiByte. Some known and also anonymous. But what you see is that then after that there is a process. It's well defined now. So if you want to make a proposal for a change, you can do that in GitHub. And also in GitHub there is the process. Then okay, how will it be looked upon? Multiple eyes, multiple developers have to review the code and the idea before it gets propagated into the next level, and then at the end of the process, it can be proposed as a candidate for the next release. And so that's nice. That's really great. That process now is good in place, and so if there is any developer that wants to support DigiByte next version, then we of course invite you to go to GitHub and get on board.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we can also talk a little bit more about DigiByte Foundation. It's hard to say for me, because you are all from there. I mean, how you have talked a little bit about it, but what can we like wrap it up with that and tell the audience more about? Can anyone join there and be part of it, or? What's its use case basically?
Yeah, we have 4 focus points, 4 pillars, so to speak. First one is global presence. That means we need to create awareness in as many as possible regions in the world, especially in native language will be great, of course. So a lot of countries that we could consider, like countries where we see developing countries, for example, or where there is a weak national currency or low buying power, high inflation. So we are looking for ambassadors that could be a local advocate and could act as a point of contact for DigiByte there, for DigiByte Foundation. And especially people or groups of people that are able to make connections there with local businesses, with institutions, with communities or key opinion leaders. So if you go to the DigiByte website, there's a button to apply to become an ambassador. You can fill in the form, and we can assess that. So yeah, anyone can join as an ambassador if they're able to bring some value to the foundation and to the DigiByte project as a whole. The second pillar we are focusing on is education. There's a lot of knowledge to be shared and to be gained, and people need to know about our differentiators, about the protocol development. Like Rutger was mentioning, we have certain guidelines in place. There's a lot to learn about the DigiByte ecosystem, like how to set up and run a full node. We will be having some attention for that as well. About mining, there's a lot to be told about that as well. We will reach out to other crypto communities, to crypto-related projects and businesses, and yeah, we will try to bring as much as possible information to the public, and so everyone get easy access to information and can easily learn about blockchain in general, but of course also about the DigiByte ecosystem. The third pillar we are focusing on is, of course, the development, as mentioned. We are still looking for developers, and yeah, we will focus on that as well. There's a lot of items that need to be fixed, the development pipeline, we call it, and yeah, we will guide interested developers how they can contribute to the project. And fourth pillar we are focusing on is collaboration and partnerships. of course, it's important for us to get funded to help the DigiByte project and to issue bounties for developers. So yeah, we are focusing on getting collaborations and partnerships with projects or groups that align with our core values, of course. And yeah, these are the 4 pillars that we will be focusing on when moving forward.
Very nice. So do you talked about people who wants to help, and do you have like sponsors or partnerships that are worth mentioning here that you're working together with, or that works with you?
Yeah, maybe I can answer this. So there's something that we are working on quite actively in the background. So of course, you know, the most important thing is that for DigiByte to get more recognition and more integrations, right? So we are trying to find more businesses, but also payment processors and service providers to establish the DigiByte coin as a superior alternative to many of the currently maybe more known projects. Because like Rutger was saying, that I think the best way to really experience DigiByte is to just have a couple and try sending them somewhere and making a comparison with many other blockchains that are available and commonly known. And it will come clear that not only in speed, but also in cost of a transfer, DigiByte is very satisfying because you can literally be with someone and make a transfer in milliseconds. Almost, it feels like a speed of a WhatsApp, I would almost want to say. And that is definitely different than many of the other projects. And of course, if you have ever sent a stable coin or so, it oftentimes has a fee of $20. So if you just want to send a $1 to someone, it could be that your whole transaction is costing $21, right?
Yeah,
Which,
that's insane.
yeah, it is. I mean, I don't really get it as a use case for payment. And here is DigiByte basically as a real standout, particularly in this field. So we are working hard in order to get DigiByte recognized as exactly that, like a really decentralized payment network that basically provides benefits to receivers and senders, and therefore payment processors might be interested in looking into it and exploring it. And especially since it is a Bitcoin fork or a Litecoin fork, it makes it relatively easy to implement because the code structure is very comparable and very similar. So that makes it very usable for those cases. So what we are working on in order to work with them is, of course, contacting many of the particular outlets that we can identify, and also to work with other types of businesses of all walks of life. This is mainly for fund seeking or funding. So we're trying to create ways in which those things are not necessarily needing to be made in the form of a real donation, but by integrating relationships and strategic partnerships with, for example, like what Rudy was mentioning, with Travala, or affiliate links with hardware wallets, so that if people need to do things that they anyhow have to do, they basically can create an integrated donation and more or less send that off passively towards the DigiByte Foundation. And of course, ultimately, we hope to then be able to be judged not by the funds that the DigiByte Foundation is raising, but more importantly by the funds that the DigiByte Foundation is giving out in the form of developer bounties or certain marketing and awareness campaigns that may need funding in order to reach a larger audience, to create a bit more awareness outside of this techie space, but also reach, you know, the everyday person to maybe have a look at it and kind of get acquainted with DigiByte.
So if people in here now wants to reach out to you, where is the best platform? Where is your main community?
Well, there are a lot of places.
They can send a DM on Twitter. They can send an email to info@digibytefoundation.io.
Is there like a forum where you can talk with others, like chat with others right away?
We don't have a dedicated channel on Telegram. There is, of course, a DigiByte channel on Telegram, but not dedicated for the foundation.
Yeah,
I see.
there are several channels on. So DigiByte is present on Reddit. DigiByte community is present on Discord. That Alliance is working on that very greatly. There are several channels on Telegram where you can reach out, and of course also what Rudy already mentioned directly to Foundation. If you look in the chat of on Twitter on this AMA, you can also find links where you can find it. And on digibyte.org, all the links to the community is also being presented.
Mm-hmm. Do you have somewhere you have to be now, guys, or can we take maybe one or two questions from the audience?
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure.
Because we have been an hour now. Normally we maybe stop them, but I've seen there's some hands up, and I wanted to maybe unmute some people. Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's try one. We have, I don't know, maybe Jose, you are from DigiByte. Maybe you want to say something important. Let's have you up here. And then I'm going to unmute Tayo. Do you wait for your turn, Tayo? Takes a while for them to connect. So, Jose, you can speak now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name's Jose Trejo, and I'm a supporter of the DigiByte project, and I've been in it since July last year. Now, when the cryptocurrency space is full of different types of people who look at cryptocurrency as an investment, some people who look at blockchain as a technology that's going to further improve the way we live. And so me, I'm a big fan of the technology. And so everybody here has a different type of economic background, financial goals. So everybody's in here for different reasons. The only thing I would say about DigiByte, and this is kind of more my testimonial than a question. Mary, I posted some links in the chat, and
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
you're active.
So there's some information out there, and it's important. Like whether you're an investor and you're trying to find a good project to invest in, or you're actually somebody who kind of believes in the vision of why like Bitcoin was created. But DigiByte provides all that, and so some of the links down there, if you're interested in doing some research, I think that you might find it interesting. So hopefully, if you can, bookmark them and research them later, or if Mary, you can post them at the top and everybody can see them. But no, I think it's a great project personally, and I welcome anybody here to do some research. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. Yeah, I need to learn how to do that, to post up there in the, I don't really know how to do that. Maybe you know that, Alpha. Can you post those links so they come up here right away in the chat forum maybe? I don't know. I'll learn. Just not right now maybe. Let's have Tayo up asking. Do you have a question, Tayo?
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Not super good, but yeah, we can hear you. Did you have a question?
Yes, I have.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, my question is about the DigiByte Foundation. About the foundation, I need to know more.
I think your sound is going in and out, Tayo. It's very difficult to understand. Maybe you can type your question instead. and we can have. So let's see. I'm unmuting Rainy. Jason. Let's see who comes up first. Rainy. Hello, Rainy. Do you have a question for the team of
Yeah.
DigiByte?
Actually,
Hi.
I just browsed through the website and I actually saw that I can contribute by joining to become a DGB. Um, it says here that I can join as a developer and help improve the protocol or the solutions, but one thing I am not is a developer. So, what are some ways that I can contribute to DigiByte? In such way, except for for the foundation, like how can I donate or how can I do donations and stuff like that on it?
Well, first of all, you don't need to join as an ambassador or developer to support DigiByte. DigiByte community is very large. You can join on Twitter, you can create awareness there, you can join the Telegram channels on Reddit or other platforms and can start chatting with the other community members. Everyone can guide you through the information that is public available about DigiByte. So there are lots of ways that you, as a community member, as a DGB, can support the project.
Oh, thank you.
Very good.
I hope that answers your question.
Did you mean, Rainy, where you should join and help if you're not a developer, but you want to help more hands-on?
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of our website, there you can see all the channels that are available. And of course, the website is, as I mentioned, it's quite new and will be developed over time. There will be also kind of repository where we put in all the information that's available, of links to information that's available. But that's on the roadmap. But if you look at on the bottom of the website, there you'll find the links to all the communication channels and platforms that are available.
Thanks, I will check it out. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for your support.
Jason, I unmuted you. Do you have a question?
Good day, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes,
we can hear you. Jason.
Okay, great. You were talking about foundation partnerships earlier, and I recently learned of this LCX partnership, and I had a couple of questions, or wondered if you could share a bit of information and regarding that strategic partnership, what it looks like moving forward, and how you think the strategies may overlap with LCX being a partner of the World Economic Forum.
LCX is a partner of the DigiByte Foundation because they support the community and they support the DigiByte project. That means that they have made a one-time donation to the foundation, and they have listed a trading pair DGB USDC, and a part of that trading fee will be donated to the DigiByte Foundation. And we will support LCX listing these pairs because they are a regulated exchange from Liechtenstein. And we think it's important that exchanges are regulated, that they have a proper KYC and AML policies in place. And of course, you always need a platform for on-ramp and off-ramp, an exchange, of course. But when you hold your coins, we always suggest to save them on cold storage. And about your question about the World Economic Forum, there's nothing I can say about that because that's irrelevant in this partnership.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot for that information.
Thank you, Jason.
I do have another question in regards to the partnerships and the funding, if you don't mind me asking.
Okay.
How is funding allocated with the DigiByte Foundation? How does that work? Do the members make decisions on how donations and funds are allocated, or is that voted on, like submitted proposals for DGB votes? How does that work?
Well, in the past, we had our own backend set up where DGBs get registered with an email, and they were able to vote on decisions by email. There were some flaws in that system, so we have decided in the new website not to use the same backend. We are still working on a solution that is more transparent and without flaws. And of course, there are some costs like infrastructure that need to be maintained, but in regards to developer bounties or marketing or whatever, for sure the community will be involved and will be able to vote on certain decisions, because we think DigiByte is a community project, and the community should also be able to prioritize development tasks and should have a vote in how funds are being allocated.
Jason, if I can piggyback to Rudy's answer there. In addition to this, it's the biggest problem right now is actually to really get meaningful funding to take on the bigger projects that are pending in the DigiByte development pipeline. Therefore, for this current moment, we actually have decided to just do baby steps, really go step by step and take on whatever we somewhat can afford to contribute towards developer bounties. And hopefully in future, there might be mechanisms where everyone in support of DigiByte can come together on certain development projects and maybe really help to create a better funding pipeline towards such needed projects where developer bounties are going to be required in order to get the challenges done and finished. So yeah, we don't really have an exact format for that because it really depends on the size and the scale and also on the project itself. But there are so many things that are piling up in terms of questions of things that could be improved or resolved. But at the moment, it's really at a very starting point where we're trying to make donations easier. Plus, of course, the wallet address is publicly visible. So, and at this moment, we only release information of things that are really done deals. Like, for example, someone asked a question on LCX. The LCX partnership was only announced after a payment was made, right? So this can be seen in the blockchain explorer. And those funds will at some point be made available. It's just that at this moment, as I was saying, the wallet is available. We can share the address. At this moment, it doesn't buy too much yet. So therefore, we try to, as mentioned, integrate with affiliate partners, which simply are on par or in a direction where DigiByte should be with regards to self-custody. So we have affiliate partnerships with wallets, and what Rudy was mentioning earlier, Travala. If anyone has trips or holidays or flights or hotel bookings to be made, they can of course be paid in fiat currency, in any currency, with normal credit card payments. And the DigiByte Foundation would receive about 5% from those bookings. So, like I book all my hotels via Travala, just to basically generate donations by doing things that I have to do anyways. Same with
Lars. It's 10%.
No, Travala is 5. Travala is 5.
Oh, I thought it was 10%. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Jason.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I actually had a very important question to have when we have so many in here who can answer this, and that is, do you guys like pizza with or without pineapple?
For me, it's I like it, but I don't buy it. But if it's served, then I will eat it.
Okay, a cheap one. Okay.
No pineapple on pizza for me.
No pineapple for you?
No.
Okay. What about Rutger? What did you answer with it? No.
Well, I'm not really getting the question.
You don't get the question?
So is it Hawaiian pizza or?
Well,
Hawaii. It's called Hawaii.
You can call
Yeah,
it whatever you want.
I see. Over here, it's got one.
Have you ever tried it, Rutger?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What about Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of pineapple
Okay.
on pizza. I like pineapple by itself, but yeah, pizza, no. But that's just my opinion.
All right. I'm not really sure who won here, but we didn't have any really opponents who said no, 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 never, ever, right? Mike, maybe. So I think pineapple
Yeah,
won.
I'm pretty close to that. I think I'm no, yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to serve that today, so no worries, guys. It was a pleasure having you all on here on this show, and I think we spread some light over DigiByte coin and the foundation as well. So I think we all know more now when we walk away from this session than we did when we came here first. So
Yeah,
it was a
thank you for
pleasure.
hosting.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
absolutely.
you. It's been great to be a part of it, and we thank you for the opportunity to let us talk about DigiByte and to talk about the foundation and what our role is and what our goals are. And we're just we want to be good stewards of the project and help just be a part of the overall community to inform and educate and help get the word out. And so thank you for the opportunity to be a part of that.
Yeah, you're welcome, and it was a pleasure having you here. We like to educate our community as well with projects, so it's very good. And I want to ask one last question. It has nothing to do with food, so don't worry. It's it's more about where do you see DigiByte, or where is the hope to see DigiByte in like 3 to 5 years? What is the long-term vision here? And
Well, we're
yeah,
not going to talk about price, of course, but the ultimate goal is, of course, to have the technology embedded in different real-world use cases. So even if you don't notice it that you use the blockchain, somewhere it's mentioned powered by DigiByte. That's the ultimate goal, that in different real-world use cases where decentralized technology are applied, that somewhere DigiByte technology will play an important role. That's my personal goal of the technology. But of course, we all have the same vision about decentralization, permissionless, and self-sovereignty. We are too much relying on centralized entity. Our data is being monetized, and we should be in control of the data ourselves. And that's what decentralized technologies can do, and that's where DigiByte will play a very important role.
Absolutely. And next to that, I also think and I hope that DigiByte will be one of the major cryptocurrency payment solutions in the world. So next to, of course, the other big proof of work UTXO blockchains, I think we're heading for a multi-coin world, not one winner takes it all. Some maximalists are saying, oh, only our chain is best. And I think there will be multiple chains that will play a major role in payments, and DigiByte is definitely going to be one of those.
Very good.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees, I think. So someone who didn't get to talk now maybe have some closing statement to the audience about DigiByte before we leave, and have a good Christmas, everyone. Is there something you want to say as last words?
No, I think we have really mentioned a lot about DigiByte and about the foundation, and we hope to be able to create more awareness over time. And AMAs like this are really helpful. So thank you again, Mary, and Crypto Miners for having the opportunity. And if I can speak in the name of the foundation, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and of course all the best for 2023. And let's hope for all of us that the sentiment will change and that we're all having a better environment in this crypto space.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I wish everyone in here Merry Christmas. I say that now every day this week, but there's lots of new people every time. So, and I wish you all the best with DigiByte and the foundation. And I actually hope to see you back in a while, maybe, so we can talk about something more that we missed or something new that's coming, or in some time, if you would be up for that. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.